Hello, everyone. So I actually got a couple of questions of these, and I made just some content with doing my son's to-do list that I do every day for him. I just did like a really quick version of it for my social media, and I actually got a couple questions on it. So my son is going to be 9 tomorrow, but he has ADHD, and my husband's ADHD and autism went undiagnosed until his 30s, and we both like he comes from a family where like nobody takes any of that seriously, and some people in his family try to acknowledge it, but they definitely don't do as good of a job as they should. And my family were aware of things, but they just didn't know how to properly help things. So it's very important for me to be able to do that as a parent. I want to set my son up for success, and I've done a lot of research and a lot of tears and a lot of asking other parents what to do. And lists seems to be one of the greatest things that you can ever give a neurodivergent child, especially if you go to actual school. I homeschool my son, so this is based on a homeschool list. But if you go to actual school, you need to give them step by step directions as simple as you can imagine. And this is actually going to help your days go by immensely better. I wish more teachers would do this. I wish more parents were aware of this. It's just one of those things that they can get distracted so easily. So having these lists really makes a difference in them remembering what's necessary. It's not that they don't know, they just don't remember. And then they get distracted and then they forget. And it really is that quick. And, a way to make this easier is breaking it down by list, which will teach them in the long term to do this for anything that they need to stay on task for. So what I like to do is color coordinate. I actually do more color coordinating now, which I decided after I saw this video. That's my twin making a noise, opening and closing their bedroom door. Excuse me, I thought I was far enough away from them. But they always have a chore now, especially at his age, and I just have him put away dishes or clean his room / take care of trash from the house to put it in the trash toter. Then we have a responsibility. He has a fish tank that he wanted, and it's in his room. That's his responsibility every day. When it gets warmer, he also walks our dog. Regulation is something that we do every single day. That's a form of regulation. This is, again, another teaching thing just for him to know there's tons of options, figure out what works best for him. And obviously, regulation is ridiculously hard for anyone, especially neurospicy kids. And his mom and dad suck at regulation, so we're all learning at the same time. Then I write down, since I homeschool, what we're doing for school. I just write the subjects up in the thing so that he can see like where everything's coming from. For some reason, that works a little bit better for him. And then I start making the actual to-do list. I start out with wake up. He has free range between wake up and our first round of school. So I don't write any details for that because in between breaks, I don't have any requirements. Obviously, if you do, it's very important to put those in there. They need to be able to constantly see this. And once this becomes a routine, I put absolutely everything on the board now because if I don't, then a conversation's always had about it. So that is kind of a backlash, but it's a good thing because this is going to get him to make his own whiteboard eventually as he gets older, which we will transfer to. Now, as you see, I'm breaking these into sections. This is what we're doing all at once. I have him do one of the other things that aren't school in a section and then 2 subjects worth. When I write the subjects, I'm telling him what we're doing for school. 2 pages, he knows is 2 pages out of that subject's textbook. If it's on my phone, he knows that we're going over things on my phone. Now he knows things, but if it were at the beginning of the school year or maybe something new, I would write very in detail what we're doing so he's very well aware. But I definitely break it into sections to make things a lot easier for him because he needs breaks in between. We've tried to do things all at once, but this seems to be the secret recipe is doing 2 subjects and one of the other things to do every single day. I also like to do this because you're doing something that's good for you and your surroundings on top of something you really don't want to do, but you gotta do. So it's like, kind of balancing out work and what necessarily needs to be done on his own. And the last thing that you're seeing me right now is I always try to promote him to read. Doesn't always happen, but I try really hard. We're actually doing a read off right now, so I'm hoping that works too, so that next December he gets to pick something huge to be able to do. But then I'll always put things like if we have one-on-one time or something extra we get to do, especially once his brothers go to bed. They go to bed relatively early, so this is always nice. So then he can see a goal, and I always try to make like the sweet treat the ending goal every single day. So once he's done, he always gets that sweet treat no matter what. And then over here on the side, I write down times. I always make sure he's awake by 10 a.m. I know you guys are gasping, but he's an ADHD kid. Whatever. Judge me if you want. But then I seem to be able to find a 2-hour break seems to be hit perfect sweet spot. And I do it from the start of when we start. That's why it's written there. And I always write the time so he knows because he likes to find it, And then anything extra, if it's a shower day, if we're doing anything that day, we have an appointment, somebody's coming over, any of those details I always write on the other side. And this seems to really help. So if you have any questions, let me know.